audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Camille Majdali.
We've been taking time to unpack a biblical understanding of meekness. And far from weakness, which is a popular definition, Camille, there are some wonderful examples of meekness in the scriptures which really show the best of a strength that comes from God.
Absolutely. And as I've tried to describe, that meekness is this quiet, selfless, determined, powerful attitude to keep on with the will of God no matter what. I believe one of the great examples in the Bible of this principle in action and of inheriting the earth in the process comes from the patriarch Isaac, son of Abraham. And the story is told of him in Genesis chapter 26. Canaan, where Isaac was born and where he dwelt and which was meant to be his inheritance, was experiencing a famine. And normally in the land of Canaan, which is so small and dry and water challenged, when there's a famine, many people go to the land of Egypt, which of course has lots of land, the Nile River, and very fruitful. Isaac was going to go to Egypt, and God said, don't go. Stay put in this land, even though it's dry, even though there's drought, even though there's famine, stay put, and I will bless you. Now, Neil, many people would not have listened to God. They'd still go to Egypt. But Isaac listened. He did what God said. This was a wonderful workshop in learning how to trust God, a workshop of faith. And by staying in the land, we read in verse 12 that he sowed in that land, and in the same year he reaped 100-fold. 100-fold increase in a time of drought and famine. That is the Lord. But the more he was successful, it says that he waxed great, he grew to be very great, he had great possessions of flocks and herds and stores of servants, and says, and the Philistines envied him. His neighbors got envious. And eventually they ejected him from where he was living in Gerar. So he's now rejected by the locals. In the land, God told him to stay put. The key thing is, how does he respond? Does he put on his boxing gloves and fight back and say, you can't do this and how dare you and all that? No. He just keeps on doing the will of God, even though he faced such indignity.
So while we go through the roller coaster of things in our lives, good things, challenging things, even bad things, the way that meekness comes out in a life is to remain persistent, to remain connected and with faith in God in such a way that you see God's hand at work in making your way, rather than somehow or other trying to contrive the idea of making your own way.
Well, let me put it to you this way, Neil. When you face injustice, indignity, or so on, most people react. What meekness does is it doesn't react. And in some cases, it doesn't act at all vis-a-vis the affront. What it does is it's proactive. It just focuses on God. It's like Hebrews 12, verse 2. We're to run the race with patience, looking unto Jesus. That, in essence, what Isaac did in that spirit of meekness. He doesn't react to the Philistines' envy, to the Philistine expulsion, to the Philistine theft of his wealth. He doesn't react to any of that. He just proactively does what God told him to do. It's a bulldog tenacity to keep on keeping on and inherit the earth.
Faith and the future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Camille Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Camille, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.